Hello everybody, I'm Kat, and the time has come. I am finally filming this long overdue book haul. I have a lot of books in this haul. I don't know how many I have to be exact, but these are the books I've literally been collecting since I want to say September, maybe even August. So I have quite a few books here. So I'm just gonna get into it, I guess. I don't know. The first book I have here is Wildcard by Marie Lu. This is the sequel to Warcross, and it is the last book in the Warcross duology. This book was one of my most anticipated reads of 2018, and I still haven't read it. Warcross was one of my favorite reads of 2018. This has potential to be my favorite duology of all time. Right now, it's The Monsters of Verity, but this could top that. Like, I'm being serious. I just need to read Wildcard to see, but I loved Warcross. I'm so excited to read Wildcard. The next book I have here is What If It's Us by Adam Silvera and Becky Albertalli. This book follows these two boys named Arthur and Ben. Arthur is in New York for the summer. He, I think, is working on Broadway, or he's at like a Broadway camp or something. Arthur lives in New York, and he just so happens to be going to the post office to mail back a box of his ex-boyfriend's things. Ben and Arthur meet at the post office, and from there, romance ensues. That was probably a really bad summary. This is another book that I was highly anticipating last year. Becky Albertalli is one of my all-time favorite contemporary authors. I've read one of Adam Silvera's books and I absolutely adored it. This book has been on people's favorite books of the year list, which makes me very excited to read it. The next book I have here is the Six of Crows Collector's Edition, and it's gorgeous, and that's really the only reason I bought it. I haven't read any of Leigh Bardugo's books. I tried reading Shadow and Bone back in August, and that failed. One of these days I will read it. In the meantime, I'm just going to enjoy this beautiful book. This is probably like the messiest book haul ever. The next book I have here is The Secret Loves? Yeah, I think The Secret Loves of Geek Girls, and this is an anthology, and it's written by a variety of different authors like Margaret Atwood, Mariko Tamaki, Trina Robbins, Marguerite Bennett, Carla Speed McNeil, Sam Maggs, and more. This is an interesting anthology. It's told in like chapters and then comics and then like text messages. When I saw this at the bookstore, I was immediately intrigued because the cover, and then I opened it up and I saw that it was kind of a mixed media type anthology, and that intrigued me even more. It's a non-fiction anthology too. It is mainly told in pictures, so I imagine it will be a very quick read, but I'm very excited to jump into this. The next book I have here is A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahara Mafi. So this book I know takes place, I believe, the year after 9/11, and it follows this girl as I think she moves to a new school and kind of has to adjust to her new life there, and she meets a guy and romance ensues. Basic summaries with Kat. I've heard fantastic things about this book. This is another book that I've seen on tons of people's favorite books of the year list for 2018, so that makes me very excited to read it. I've only read one other Tahara Mafi book, and that was Shatter Me, and I read it about a year ago now, and I really liked it. I was really surprised at how much I liked it. I have a feeling I'll like this one because this one is much more up my alley than Shatter Me was, and I really liked Shatter Me. The next book I have here is another book that has appeared on pretty much everyone's favorite book of the year list, and it's a book series that I'm not caught up on, but I now have the entire series of, and that is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. This book I think is like 1,000 pages. Like, I'm being serious. Yeah, it's 980 pages. I need to catch up on this series. This year I was thinking about rereading the first 3 books because I have forgotten a lot of what's happened in this series, and I would very much like to know what's happening in this series. I think I might reread the first 3 books as well as The Assassin's Blade because I think that is significant. I really liked the first book back when I read it, I think a couple of years ago now. A lot of people consider this book to be their favorite book of 2018. Some people say it's their favorite book of all time. We'll see. I'm currently on book 4, Queen of Shadows, I believe. Yeah, Queen of Shadows. I would like to reread the other 3 before I jump into that one because I have forgotten a lot. The next book I have is one that I'm very excited about, and that is Paper Girls Volume 5. I love this comic book series. I've talked about it a lot on my channel. I don't really want to talk a whole lot about this series because I talk about it so much on my channel, but if you like Stranger Things, pause this video, go out to the nearest bookstore, and pick up a copy of this because it's so strange and weird in a Stranger Things type way, and the artwork is brilliant. The next book I have here is a book that I already own 2 copies of, but I needed a third. because I am trash. And that book is Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. This is the paperback edition. It has a beautiful spine and it features my boy Julian Blackthorne on the cover. This book series is one of my all-time favorite series. It's probably my favorite trilogy of all time. I had to get it in paperback because I'm trash. The next book I have here is one that I don't physically have with me, but I have the cover of, and that is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. This is the third and final book in the Dark Artifices trilogy. I am currently reading it. I think I'll be done with this book by the time this video is up, but as of right now, I'm still reading it. But look, the inside cover art of this book jacket is beautiful. I love them so much. This book nearly made me have a mental breakdown many times, and I'm not even done with it yet, so yeah. I think I might be making a review for it, so watch out for that. The next books I have here are like so adorable, and they are John Green's little pocket books. They're so cute. They're so tiny. Like, you can see them in comparison to my hands. They're so tiny. This has John Green's first 4 books, aka the only John Green books that matter. It has Looking for Alaska, An Abundance of Catherine's, Paper Towns, and The Fault in Our Stars, and they look like this. They're all horizontal, and then when you actually open up the book, it's told horizontally. Hopefully that didn't have any spoilers. I got this for Christmas, and it is literally the cutest thing ever. The next book is another book that I also got for Christmas, and that is Stranger Things Worlds Turned Upside Down. And this is kind of like a behind the scenes book about the making of Stranger Things. And so it has how they built the set, how they designed the clothes, how they wrote the show, what drew their inspiration for certain characters and stuff. I am trash for Stranger Things. This book was perfect for me. There's not really a summary to it, it's literally that. It's the coolest book I own. I think I've been flipping through it and I've been fascinated by what inspired certain storylines in the show. I've been loving it. Like, I think I might sit down and actually physically read this, because so far all I've been doing is kind of briefly flipping through it and looking at the photos. I think one of these days I'm gonna sit down and read it. I'm gonna enjoy my time reading this. The next book I have here is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. It has like a paper cover. Like, the white part of it is like paper. Like, I can't describe it, but it feels kind of rough like paper. I have a lot of collections of Alice in Wonderland. If you have seen any of my previous bookshelf tours, you know that. Speaking of which, I have a bookshelf tour that I need to film soon. We'll see when that happens. This edition was beautiful. And finally, the last 2 books I have in this haul are The Silver Mask and The Golden Tower, both by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. These are the last 2 books in Holly Black and Cassandra Clare's Magisterium series, which is their middle grade magic school series. I read book 1 like 4 years ago now, and I decided this year that I was going to read the rest of the books. I already own hardcovers of books 2 and 3, and then now I have 4 and 5, and book 1 I think I have an arc of. I figured it was time. I had to finish the series. I needed to finish this series because I love Cassandra Clare and I love Holly Black. I read book 1 and I may need to reread it again because I don't remember much. And that is it for this video. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books or if you've hauled any of them recently, because I would love to know. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post videos every Thursday, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! These books are gonna fall. These books are gonna fall. Are they gonna fall though? Nah.